Hey guys, my name's Shius. I'm a music producer who makes Vocaloid music, if you don't know me yet, and I've been wanting to make a tutorial series for music and how to make music. I know a lot of people can't afford making music because it's so pricey and all, so I've gathered my resources to make a tutorial that's completely free and hopefully easy to do. Hope you guys enjoy it. I put up notes on Google Docs so that you can check it out when you have the time, or if you can't follow the tutorial with my voice. So this is going to be a free tutorial, meaning that everything I use in this tutorial will be free. There will be VST plugins by DSK Music and Plogue, which I will provide links to in the description so that you can download them. And the DAW or digital audio workstation we'll be using is also free. It's called CakeWalk by Bandlab, and it is hard to use, admittedly, but it will be a good investment if you ever want to try starting out in music. So this is not a step-by-step tutorial. Music is creative work, which means you gotta think on your own. And for that, I suggest that you actually practice. Put some effort into this, and you could probably make something really, really good. Although, it will take a year before you can get anywhere you probably are satisfied in. This tutorial doesn't have a specific genre, which means I put this in mind for educating young Vocaloid producers, but you don't need to use it for that. It's literally for anyone who wants to make music for free, and right now. Now that the formalities are through with, let me jump straight into genres. So a good thing to note when you're starting out with music is that there are several different genres for music. Sticking to one genre is not a bad idea, and I will be explaining the following genres that I will be focusing on in this tutorial. The first genre we'll be focusing on is electronic. Literally anything with a synth can be electronic music. It's usually 4x4 and includes dubstep, drum and bass, and I also include hip-hop. Electronic music usually has dominant drums and a bass with less focus on unique melody and more rhythm. Usually people layer the chords, which will become significant later on, but this basically means that if you have chords and you have one instrument, you'd usually use another instrument to put the same exact chords on. Popular samples of electronic music are literally most Vocaloid songs. For example, the big names, Circus, Crusher, all dubstep songs are electronic music. Most modern pop music you hear on the radio today is electronic pop music. The next thing we're going to talk about is rock. It's a really heavy sounding genre, which you probably know by now, but has a lot of guitar, bass, and drums. It's got less focus on actual melody, but more focus on the rhythm, beat, and vocals. It really literally includes anything with dominant guitar, bass, drum, with less focus on synths. As well, it is also 4x4 time signature, which basically means it follows most of the rules of the same normal pop songs. Rock is a very broad genre with lots of different examples for its music. Some examples include Linkin Park, Papa Roach, Hollywood Undead, and others. There's a difference between Western rock and, for example, J-rock, which is usually seen in the Vocaloid scene, but in this tutorial I'll be focusing more on Western rock. The third genre we'll be talking about is waltz, which is literally OG dance music. It's got lots of violins and piano. Usually it's in the 3x4 signature, and this includes circus music. Not the Vocaloid P, but actual circus music, like cabaret. It uses a lot of grand pianos, orchestra drums, and old-timey instruments like accordions for flavor. It's got a heavy focus on melody and chord progression with less focus on the drums and bass, but since it is dance music, they still have a focus on rhythm. There are various different samples for waltz, although none of them I can actually bring up here other than, well, what I said before, circus music. For this one, you might have to Google it and find some inspiration. So if it doesn't fall into any of the above, the genre you're going for might as well be classical. It doesn't fall into waltz, it doesn't fall into electronic, and it doesn't fall into rock. Classical music can be any time signature. You can go wild, but just because you can doesn't mean you should. Standards are here for a reason. They include any instruments that are not synths, which is usually a piano, maybe a horn somewhere, and maybe some violin. They have a focus on chords and melody, just like waltz, with less of a focus on drums and, well, bass. If you add synths, boom, you've got electronic music. This is what we'll be doing. In conjunction with genres, one thing I'd like to talk about is the BPM, or the beats per minute. The higher the BPM is, the faster the song is, and that changes a lot of things in terms of mood and tone. So I'm only going to talk about electronic music with BPM because it's a really modern thing. Hip-hop uses 60 to 100 BPM, house can use 100 to 115 to 130 BPM, techno and trance can use 120 to 140 BPM, dubstep usually 135 to 145, and drum and bass 160 to 180 BPM. I'll be putting all of these in the notes in my Google Docs. Another thing I'd like to talk about is the time signature. What I was saying about 4x4, 3x4, 6x8, they're all just how many beats can you fit in, well, a bar. So 4x4 means you can fit 4 beats by 4 in a bar. And this literally is with any modern pop music such as rock, electronic, country. In terms of examples, you could think of Circus P's music. Literally most modern pop music like rock music, Linkin Park, Hollywood and Dead, and the rest. So for the time signatures 3x4, you can think of waltz, R&B, and some people actually also pull it off with electronic music. One example I can think of directly is Steam Pianist's Thing, which has a 3x4 intro which changes into a 4x4. Other examples I can pull up is probably playing in the background at this point. I made a dubstep with 3x4 once and it was absolute hell, which I suggest you don't do. 4x4 is usually the way to go. The last time signature we'll be focusing on is 6x8, which includes jazz, swing, electro swing, and seemingly half of Chevelle's songs for some reason. As mentioned, examples can include Chevelle's songs, jazz, and, well, electro swing songs. Of the 3 time signatures I mentioned, 6x8 is probably the hardest to pull off, and I wouldn't suggest using it unless you really had the need to make something jazzy, like electro swing. I promised short videos, so I'll be uploading this as is, and I'll be putting my notes on Google Documents, so if you couldn't follow me throughout the tutorial, you can definitely follow me there. I'll start making music in the next tutorial, where we'll get into chords, scales, and all that good stuff. For now, I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.